Good to have you here, 3 and Out on the Southern Pigskin Radio Network, coming to you from the Westin on Jekyll Island. Good to have you. Of course, a day ahead of the Ben Troop Florida Georgia Legends Series, which will be here tomorrow evening. We'll be broadcasting live from 3 to 6, not too terribly far from where we're sitting right now here at the Westin, and looking forward to that, Ben. I know with a lot of Georgia and Florida alums coming in, free event tomorrow night for folks to come on out and just kick back and listen, ask a question, get some autographs, take some pictures, and just have a good time listening to all of you guys reminisce about playing in the world's largest outdoor cocktail party.
Really, really looking forward to it, Kevin. I think it's really, really humbling for me because this is my contribution to the game. A lot of times, as a former player, you say to yourself, "Okay, I was able to be truly blessed by this game. How can I give my show my respect and appreciation to the players that have paved the way for me, and obviously, guys that came after me as well." So you got different generations. You got Carlos Alvarez, you got DJ Jones, you got Jeff Chandler, myself, who played in the same era in D Webb. You got Washawn Ely. I think sometimes, BJ, when you start thinking about putting things together, I'm not doing it from a standpoint of a look at me. It's look at what we've done and we've accomplished. To me, it doesn't matter wins or losses or what you did within the game individually. It's look, DJ Jones, they own that 1980 national championship team as a backup quarterback. You think about Carlos Alvarez from Cuba, he has a 30 for 30. I think if I'm not correct, University of Florida Hall of Fame, Academic Hall of Fame, College Football Hall of Fame. I mean, works as a lawyer in Tallahassee, so he don't mind being around the wrong element, if you want to call it that, BJ. But no, this is how I say thank you, man. This is how I give people credit. I mean, give people flowers when they can smell them. So I'm looking forward to seeing everybody, and I'm looking forward to just really, like y'all, sitting back and I want to say, Carlos Alvarez, tell us about your life, and we just sit back like this, in utter amazement. But yeah, this is how I say thank you to those guys, to know that I had something to do with this game. You know what? Oh man, what is it? 21 years ago now. My goodness, Kevin, telling my age a little bit, but yeah, I'm looking forward to the third annual Florida Georgia Legends Series held here at the beautiful Westin Hotel on Jekyll Island.
Yeah, beautiful facility. I mean, we're looking out literally at the ocean to the right of us. But the first Florida Georgia Legends Series, what was neat, and of course last year it was virtual with COVID, and was still spectacular. But what was really neat is to watch kind of the ebb and flow of the conversation, where it starts out, oh yeah, Georgia got a lot of respect for Florida, and it's been a great rivalry, and respect y'all's traditions, our traditions, and then it kind of starts to unravel a little bit, and then wait a minute, okay, if you're going to talk trash, I'm going to talk trash. But no, it is a fitting title to call it a Legend Series. And I mean, Ben, even though I've heard the story a million times, and that's something I'm grateful for, I'm still excited to hear you talk about 2002. And a lot of Georgia fans listening, may not fully appreciate it. Gator, you're Gator legend, but 2002, defensive game, back and forth, a fourth quarter score makes the difference, and it's you over Thomas Davis on, essentially, you've described it as a jump ball from Rex Grossman, and that's the game-winning touchdown, 20-13. Keep in mind, and Dog fans know this, that's Georgia's only loss in 2002, maybe Mark Richt's best team in Athens. So it's, yes, Carlos Alvarez and Daryl Jones and, just these great all-time players. But, Ben, to hear you talk about that again just means so much to me. And it's funny because, Kevin, you know it. I mean, Ben, if we were to do an interview here, I don't even have to ask you because I know what you're going to say. Ben, what was it like? I was tired. That's what you always say. I mean, you're describing one of the great moments in the history of the series as just being exhausted.
You tell me not to patronize people, right? You say, ask me a question, don't patronize me. No, I was. When you think about how that whole game started out, that was not the game plan. So for people to see how to think about this, Taylor Jacobs, Rex Grossman were the best quarterback receiver duo in the SEC that year. And Taylor Jacobs was a deep threat if you've ever seen one. He gets hurt in the first quarter. So Ed Zombrecker, our offensive coordinator, he's saying, okay, what do we do? So when people go, what is our plan A? I mean, what's our plan B? Panic. So we said, hey, we're going to go to the ghost screen. So myself, Kelvin Kite, Carlos Perez, Aaron Walker, we was like, all right, man, we finna run this ghost screen. I mean, it got to the point where the whole crowd was like, if he runs this ghost screen again, but it kept working. And next thing, and coming out of the game, Carlos Perez, 12 catches. Mm-hmm. Kelvin Kite, 9 catches. I called a touchdown pass. Aaron Walker called a touchdown pass. I think Rex Grossman set the record at the time for most completions in the Georgia-Florida game. And I think I could be wrong. It's one of the only night games I can remember in the Florida-Georgia game series. But BJ, look, we had this route combination. He goes like this. It's a choice route. If you're playing the inside turn out, playing to the outside turn in, inside and out, just turn around. I caught this pass like 3 or 4 times, in that last drive, with that touchdown drive. I am 6'4", 6'4" and a half, whatever. Thomas Davis, 6'1", 6'2". My arms are longer than Thomas Davis's. I had one move, and that was a swim move. And I said, Lord, I'm going to give him the swim move. And if it works, I'm good. Think about this. I had the whole end zone. If I were to try to go inside of him, I don't get open. So I just think that Thomas Davis, who's a 2021 Georgia-Florida Hall of inductee, he's a Hall of Famer this year. You just laugh, man. You really, really just laugh because I don't understand the severity of these things. When I get to the sideline, my
that's what I'm saying. I mean, in the moment, you weren't thinking I just potentially caught the game-winning touchdown pass.
No. My thing is this. This is when you want to score. You get off the field when you score. Hey, man, somebody scores when we get off the field, and I'm usually telling somebody else that when you catch it, my teammates are hugging me. I have no energy left. All this side of my face ain't nothing but just sweat. And somebody said, "Quote, wipe your face, man. You're on TV." I'm like, man, I'm tired. But look, I give a lot of credit to everybody on that team. It was a lot of players in that game. I got tremendous amount of respect for on both sides. I mean, DJ Shockley, David Green, Thomas Davis. You talk about Lee. I mean, Lito was gone. I'm sorry, but you talk about Keywan Rattler. Gus Scott is a play that people don't talk about enough. Jacksonville native, grew up a Florida fan. Playing with Florida. Sorry, DJ. I love you, D-Shot. D-Shot tried to throw a pass to the single receiver side to Terrence Edwards. Gus Scott picks it off for a touchdown. Later on in that game, David Green tried to throw the wide open pass to Terrence Edwards. Terrence Edwards dropped it. And after the game, when they asked Terrence Edwards why he dropped it, he said, I was trying to see what Gus Scott was. If I was a Georgia player, I would have told Terrence, you're supposed to lie. Don't give that man that much. Because Gus ain't no, he's not no arrogant type player. But it was so many things that happened in that game. So shout out to the defense. Thomas Davis, I am not more athletic than you. I am just taller than you, and I am bigger than you. And my arms just – because then there's a picture, if I had it. I got my hand on this ball, holding it for dear life. And there's another hand in there, and that's Thomas Davis. And I'm looking at the camera. And my mom asked me after the game, did you know you was going to catch it? I said, Mama, I was just thinking, God, I didn't drop it. Because you got to think, if I drop it, then I can't do no Florida Georgia Legend Series. There will be no Florida Georgia Legend Series because I don't want to talk. No, I'm just happy that I was a part of that series, Kevin and BJ. And that's the thing about football. All the games you play, you come down to a moment in time. I have some great memories, great moments. I'm happy that's a moment that'll live on forever.
Absolutely. And again, we'll have those stories and stories from, and again, you've got guys from across the kind of generations of this game. So you get different kind of feels of it from talking to different guys. Like when Willie McClendon played, Georgia was doing good things in the series. When you played, you were in the middle of obviously the Spurrier run where Georgia really couldn't get a win over Florida. So it's kind of interesting to see different guys and their perspectives based on kind of the eras in which they played.
Yeah, and let me say this too. I'm not one of those. I say I was fortunate to go 4-0, and I rode the wave because we were the last two teams of Spurrier. So Spurrier's last 2 years was 2000, 2001, then the Zook era, and I do believe that momentum because we were not the same team record wise, but I just remember, man, Ron Zook. He's the type of guy, man. He wants to win in such because now looking back on it, he wanted to win to prove his worth. Like as a player, always trying to prove your worth. He was like, a lot of people don't think I'm supposed to be the head coach of Florida. And you kind of take on and Kevin, I didn't do this. The world is against us because it wasn't. But you just appreciate how much you like love sharing the field with those guys. Do I like red and black as a color? Yes. Do I like red and black as a color for Georgia? No. I hate them when you're talking about putting them together in that round, but it's a healthy dislike, BJ, because it's not real. Let me say this. I don't hate Georgia for real. I don't hate the players for real, but on Saturday, I can't stand them. Don't talk to me. I don't want to hear nothing about because you need that to get you ready for the game. And plus, when you got David Pollock and Charles Grant and Thomas Davis and Kentrell Bell, I'm asking myself, do I really want to do this? Do I want my life to be this? Because I could have been doing something else. And because as people know, Florida was who I chose, but I was originally going to be an engineer. That's another. That's another. That's another show. No. I appreciate it, man. It's humbling, BJ, because it's easy to talk about what happened after it happened, but man, going on during this thing, I'm saying to myself, I'm saying, Lord, please don't throw it to him. Oh, he's throwing it to me. Please catch it. Oh, please don't drop it. All these things are going through your mind. And hey, man, I had an incredible time doing it. And I would say that Georgia brought out the best of me. Hopefully, they'll think I brought out the best in them.
Well, you mentioned that the Georgia Florida Hall of Fame this year will have Kawan Ratliff and also Seatric Faze and a couple of guys you played with, and John Stinchcomb we chatted with earlier in the week.
Matter of fact, all four guys we all played in the same era. Yes.
When you think about you getting inducted a couple of years ago, what did that mean to you? A Swainsboro, native, grew up in Georgia. Yeah,
my fault. The wrong borough.
That's right, the wrong borough. A Swainsboro native, Augusta, obviously where you went to high school, but then to go to Florida. What does being in the Florida Georgia Hall of Fame mean to you?
I heard Randall Cobb do an interview one time, and during the interview, he said things like this don't happen to people like us. That's how I felt. Because when you from Swainsboro, Georgia, I graduated high school from Augusta, Georgia. Whatever I do, we're doing it. It's not just me thing. So people go, hey, Ray Guy, the great Ray Guy, the Ray Guy Award, he's from Swainsboro, and he graduated high school from Augusta. So all I'm saying is I'm just a microcosm, BJ, of what can be when given the opportunity. Not that I'm better, not that I'm greater, not that I'm different. Man, I made it in Florida because I went to a city in Augusta first. If I go from a small town to a big town, but it might as well be, Atlanta if you're coming from Swainsboro. You just breaking barriers. I wear this thing called a myth killer on my wrist because that's all I'm doing. I just want to kill myths. I got children. I got nieces and nephews. I got friends that say, hey, Ben, you think you could do that? I said, no, I know we can. My dad said, listen, man, son, the easiest thing to be is the second, the hardest thing to be is the first. I was the first of many kinds to do the things I've done, not going to college, but on these big stages being celebrated. So when you go into the floor, you was there, BJ. I appreciate you coming, man. When you standing up there, you realize this is forever. You're going to forget the games, man. You're going to forget the players. In some spot down there in Jacksonville, they got a picture of this face much younger and hopefully a little bit more handsome in some spot. But no, it's humbling, BJ, because I had nothing to do with the selection process. All I could control was my 4 years there. My name came up, and I got selected with the golden leg, Jeff Chandler. And I just, Vern Lundquist was there, so I'm super happy for Kewan, Ohio's finest, Seatric Faze from the city of Jacksonville, John Stinchcomb carrying on the Stinchcomb name, and Thomas Davis, man, I appreciate you lowering your athleticism for one play for your brother. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate it.
I'm sure he doesn't see it that way if we had a chance to talk to him about it. But we've got so much more to get to here on the show. We're coming to you live from the Westin on Jekyll Island. Come on out again tomorrow and join us for the Ben Troop Florida Georgia Legends Series. Will all get started. We'll be here broadcasting 3 and Out live from 3 to 6. And then the Legends Series, the roundtable discussion getting started at 7. Absolutely free. I know it's kind of nasty today, but the weather forecast for tomorrow looks absolutely amazing. So we're looking forward to that. As well. We've got more to get to here on the show. Of course, we're talking about that football game. Game 2 happened last night. We'll look forward to game 3 coming up tomorrow, but we'll break that down when we return as 3 and Out here on this Thursday afternoon. We are live here at the Westin on Jekyll Island, getting ready for the third annual Ben Troop Florida Georgia Legends Series coming up tomorrow. We'll be broadcasting live from 3 until 6, and the roundtable free to the public. Come on out and enjoy starting at 7 o'clock right here at the Westin on Jekyll. And should be great weather for that tomorrow night here at the Westin. Encourage you to come out for that. But last night, not good for the Atlanta Braves. We'll just leave it at that. They get game 3 coming up, and I know this is the Atlanta spin, right? Well, if you'd have told me it was only going to be a split, you'd have taken that and come back to Atlanta playing the next 3. But I think you played so well in game 1, you thought maybe you play a little better. I thought Max Fried, first inning, really rocky. Braves did not play great defense last night. After that, kind of settled down, but it was kind of what the Braves did to the Astros the night before. It was too little, too late.
Yeah, and what's been interesting about this series, granted just 2 games so far, is that the team that has gotten off to the quick start has won and has won comfortably. And sometimes in baseball, especially in the postseason where there's such emphasis with every single pitch and every single at-bat, is you have a little back and forth and you have, a change of leads, and then you go to the bullpens and it takes, 4 or 5 hours. Well, these games have been pretty straightforward. Get off to the good start, score some runs in the first couple of innings, and you kind of control the game. And Max Fried, you said this earlier today, and I think it's fair because it's natural to look at the final score, look at the box score, and think, oh boy, Max Fried is the ace. We're going to need him again in a couple of days. He didn't pitch well. He really did, outside of 1 inning, pitch well. I mean, finished the game late with, I think, a couple of strikeouts in a row, but had the start where did not have great command, probably wasn't getting some calls. I mean, if we're being honest, that was not great last night. But Max Fried is still a guy I think you can trust and believe in on this stage in this moment. Had 1 bad inning, probably had 4 or 5, pitches overall he wanted to get back. And offensively, you were not hot last night. I mean, sometimes, Ben, you've told me this with every sport we watch. Hey, what happened the day before or the week before or the game before isn't always a guarantee of a continuation coming up forward. But, Kevin, I don't think it's Atlanta spin to say 1-1, we're happy with it. I think yesterday we all kind of got bright-eyed and thought, oh, boy, we're up 1-0. We could win this game tonight with Max Fried. We're going to be up 2-0, and we're going to, just wrap this up really quickly. When in reality, look, Houston has been in 3 of the last 5 World Series. You have 1 win. They have 1 win. It's going back to Atlanta. I think you feel optimistically. I think you trust Ian Anderson, biggest start of his career coming up clearly. But last night, not unexpected, and I still think you can feel good, very good, about where you are, right, at 1-1, Ben?
Of course you can. I mean, it's either the World Series or it's not, right? And we shouldn't be surprised. I go back. Listen, BJ, I always look to you to be able to say, listen, this should be my panic level. I look to Kevin and say, this is where we should be at. And Kevin said, listen, Kevin, what's best case scenario for this Braves team? First 2 games, 1-1, going back to Truist. Now, it's much easier. We always dwell on your most recent game. If the Braves won game 2 and got beat in game 1, we're saying something different. No, the Braves have proven to Houston, hey man, we got to jump on these guys early because, like you said, BJ, seeming whoever have the best couple of first couple of innings, they seem to have that momentum at the end of the game. But it is the Astros, and I know, the running joke about the Astros is the whole scandal they were a part of. They're trying to show that they don't need that stuff. The Braves are trying to prove that, look, man, we not only just happy to be here, we belong here. And you going back to Truist 1-1, you understand both teams are kind of breathe now. I mean, we got that first win out the way. I mean, we got to win before we got back on the plane to hit. Because let's face it, Houston could ill afford to go down 0-2. They saw what the Braves did against the Dodgers. And I'm not saying Houston is better than the Dodgers, but Dodgers are one of the best teams in baseball, regardless of divisions. I mean, confidence. So I just think that for this Braves team, you breathe, you say to yourself, fellas, all right, we in this thing. We understand it's not going to be. We would love. There are no sweeps anymore in World Series. That's just out the window. Nope, they're gonna kind of go back and forth. But I think this is what you want. I think if you're a Braves team, you doing things the hard way. You used to doing things that you don't make things easy on yourself. But the Braves exercise some demons in the NLCS because everybody thought going up 3-1. They lose a game. Here we go again. They find a way to get it done in Truist. The Braves are a different team at home. And Houston knows that. The Braves need to go and handle business in game 3 from a confidence standpoint. But, BJ, I think we undervalue just how incredible Ian Anderson. He's only been in the bigs 2 years, and look at what he's doing. So, Kevin, what you say about giving him postseason experience. Look at how much better of a player he is, not just for the team during the regular season. I think he's ready for this moment.
Again, I think I've said it all series. I will continue to say it. Confidence in this team. This is a team that has played really, really well. Again, baseball is a sport where you just don't go out and win every day. The fact that the Cardinals won 17 in a row coming down the stretch was ridiculous. That's just something that doesn't happen a lot in baseball. So last night you got and I think a couple of things that are going to go unnoticed in that is Max Fried did not get off to a great start, gutted you out to get you through 5. Then you got Chris Martin. Kyle Wright comes in and pitches and pitches well. Actually, I know it's a different scenario, but Matzik, Will Smith, Luke Jackson, AJ Minter, none of those guys had to be used. They get another day off and then come back on Friday. And for a bullpen that gets 2 days off, everybody should be very, very raring to go there for game 3. So I think what did come out of this, if you're Brian Snitker, is you threw a guy out there that has first-round talent. Kyle Wright's first-round draft pick.
Mm-hmm.
Has had his struggles at the major league level. Came in a World Series game and pitched a clean inning, struck out the side, I believe. So showed some flashes of what he could be, and maybe that's a confidence boost to say, Kyle, this is the biggest stage you're ever going to pitch in. It's the World Series. Our team needs you to go out there and get 3 outs, and you did it. You didn't give up. So maybe that's a guy you look to and say, could he come back in a game 6 and a game 7? If you're short on starting pitch, say, Kyle, we need you for 3 innings. Go out there and give us what you got. I think you learned a little bit about some guys last night to say, look, let's harken back to game 2 and say, are you our best option like a Minter? No, but I think you showed something to yourself that, hey, it's a World Series. There's no bigger stage you're going to pitch on in your career, and you got it done for us in the 8th inning. Why can't you do that in a regular season or another game, pitch with that confidence that you displayed last night? So a couple of things I thought went unnoticed, that you had some guys in that bullpen really give guys the night off. And I know, BJ, people say this a lot in NBA. What's the difference in losing by 2 and losing by 28? And a lot of times you see that strategy in a best of 7 in the NBA. You get down by 18 or 20, and you're like, you know what? Just going to rest guys and save them up for the next day, because guess what? At the end of the day, it's just one loss. Doesn't matter if we lose by 10 or we lose by 20. Am I going to use everybody up trying to come back? Or am I just going to say, you know what? We'll chalk this one up to an L, come back and do better. I do think it's going to be unbelievable Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at Truist Park. I think the atmosphere is going to be incredible and maybe one of the best we've seen in the city of Atlanta in terms of atmosphere in a long, long time.
Oh, sure. And I think that the Braves will take the field with confidence, feeling like they are the better team. I mean, I truly think that's what they believe, and they should feel that way. They should feel that way. But to your point, and this is always an interesting line to walk, but I do think that if you lose a game 7-2, 10-1, something, and nobody wants that, but if that's the reality, to me, that is so much better than losing 3-2. Because that's what makes me nervous is if you lose a game 3-2, let's say the Astros beat you 3-2. Well, that's a game you lost where offensively the Astros weren't at their best. And to me, that's where you worry about kind of balancing it all out with the numbers and kind of what's going to happen, anticipating production. If the Astros have a statistical outlier and you lose, I think that's okay within the compartmentalization of evaluating losses. Obviously, you don't want to lose, but it's like in football. If you lose, 13-10, you look at it and you can point to 10 reasons why you should have won, and maybe the other team beat you without even playing their best football. I think you got about the best effort you're going to get from the Astros in game 2. And I say that with and I say that with all due respect. Look, Houston is one of the standards right now in Major League Baseball. But what I'm saying is, I think it's going to be hard for Houston to replicate what they did in game 2 in game 3, much like it was hard for Atlanta to replicate game 1 in game 2. And I do want to say this, because I saw some people saying on social media last night, man, Atlanta's really aggressive at the plate, a lot of swings and misses, a lot of swings early in counts. I like that. I think when you go to the plate, you go to the plate to hit, not to watch and smile and have your place on TV for 45 seconds. No, you go up there to hit. And you saw the Astros really try to attack the zone, or at least in the general area early in counts. I don't like taking pitches just to take pitches. And sometimes, like in game 1, it works well for you. Sometimes in game 2, you swing and miss. But Kevin, for me, I don't know what your thoughts are. I want to see Atlanta, assuming they're good pitches, swinging at pitches in the zone early in counts this weekend, I think that's a sign that you believe, a sign that you're eager, a sign that you're confident, a sign that you're ready. And there are going to be swings and misses, but I like that out of this team with the power you have in this lineup, guys.
Well, think about this too, though. I mean, and Kevin and BJ, I don't know why we do this. We don't have to be hesitant. It's not like, well, it's not like Houston is listening to us, which they probably should be.
Or whispering.
If they're not. But who's to say that they're going to go back to Houston? I mean, the Braves have already won one game. They got 3 games at home. Because I'm saying at a certain point, we talk about the Braves like, okay, the Braves finally made it back to the World Series since '99. Think about what Alex Anthopoulos was 4 years ago. Not too many people can do what he do or take over what he took over. Ronald Acuna Jr. is not playing. He's watching. And they're still here. Mike Soroka, I hope to God he's back in 2022 because I don't even mention his name.
Watching.
He's watching. So all I'm saying is, Kevin and BJ, I only wear Atlanta Braves, ball. I only wear these type of hats because I represent the great state of Georgia and I love them Braves. My grandfather's looking down. But BJ, it is okay to think that the Braves are more than good enough to win 3 in a row because they in Truist. I don't know why we say that we go, hold on. It's Houston. No, I mean, yes. I hope Houston have a big problem come these next 3 games because I believe this Braves team, they believe in each other. All they got is that locker room. And I'm sorry. Snit don't have the best, he's not the most enthusiastic person you ever met, Kevin. But I think if we win the World Series, even he has to show a little, enthusiasm. But I'm very, very confident for a team like the Braves, BJ, because I think you throw out all that stuff. Pitching, plate appearances, be who you are.
Yeah.
Because that's what got you here. When you lose, when you're trying to be something you're not. If you're real bland, be bland. If you like to dance and do that stuff. But if but I don't like this, hey man, let's get all extra professional because that stuff you did got you here. Rosario, be aggressive. Soler, be aggressive. Ozzy, be aggressive. Because if you look back on, and I don't even like to say that L word, if you don't reach the goal you wanted, don't look back and say because you didn't be who you are. That's the worst feeling as a player is this. Man, I should have just said this. No. I was who I was and they beat me. I can shake your hand. You were just a better man. But I don't know, man. I'll put them Braves against anybody right now because there's only one team. It's 28 other teams saying they wish they was in a position these 2 teams are in. So be who you are. And if you lose being who you are, you can live with the result.
And I look at this team, again, coming into the weekend, played horrible defensively. That's really not who they are. Ben talked about that. That is almost an outlier that you have Eddie Rosario throwing to a base that nobody's covering, and the Braves kind of went brain dead there in 1 inning. And you look at one stretch in the postseason, the Braves had not committed like an error in their last X number of games. Like it was unbelievable how long they had gone really without committing an error, especially down the stretch. So I think there's a team that plays much better defensively. And they get back home, hit the baseball. And again, I think Truist is going to be the place to be. And I'm interested to see how many people, I made this reference yesterday, much like Georgia and Florida, how many people are outside Truist that are at the game, but not in the building, that are just there taking part in that atmosphere. I think it's going to be a wild scene there at the Battery in Atlanta. We've got more to come here on 3 and Out. We are at the Westin on Jekyll Island getting ready for the Ben Troop Florida Georgia Legends Series, which comes your way tomorrow. And this is 3 and Out. Sorry, I had to wait for the music to break down there. We're here at the Westin on Jekyll Island, getting ready for the Big Troop Florida Georgia Legends Series here as well. Kevin, BJ, and Ben. And again, the Legends Series, the roundtable tomorrow, 7 p.m. I know Christian jumping around in the background is very distracting. But again, you've got Georgia, Florida coming up on Saturday. Quarterback decisions for both coaches in this one, JT or Stetson. I know Kirby Smart, Dan Mullen, they're not going to say, but gut feeling, who's the first guy out there on Saturday?
I think Stetson Bennett, and I think it's hard to kind of get a feel for what's going to happen in the game. I do think you will see two quarterbacks for both teams. I think Florida's going to play Emory Jones and Anthony Richardson. I think, and I think Georgia's going to play Stetson Bennett and JT Daniels, but I don't know how that manifests. I don't know if there's a script, Ben. I don't know if at times there's kind of a pre-established rotation of, okay, you're going to get the first two series, then you're going to get one, or if you kind of play it by feel. But I think, look, JT Daniels is an extremely talented quarterback and has done a really good job. But so is Stetson Bennett, and he's been in recently, and he's been leading the team recently. And I think right now his passer rating is second in college football behind Grayson McCall out of Coastal Carolina. Has played really well against teams where you've had a national top 25 type spotlight: Arkansas, Kentucky, Auburn. You've gotten good production, good proficiency. I think there's a rhythm to the offense that I don't know if it changes if you change quarterbacks. I don't know if there's a sort of corresponding production expectation that Kirby Smart and Coach Monken have, where they look at it and go, okay, if we don't get this, we're going to make a change. Or if we do get this, we're not going to make a change. I think it's tough, Ben. I mean, you obviously know more than me about kind of the feel for the game once the game is underway. But I think Stetson Bennett starts, and I think the momentum and the rhythm he's had has been really impressive. I mean, Georgia's won games, national top 25 showcase games with ease. Now the defense has set the tone, but you've been really effective offensively. So I think we see two quarterbacks for both teams, but how does that play out?
Ooh. Florida Georgia is such a perception-driven game, BJ and Kevin, because we forget how the magnitude of recruiting and what you run out there it has a lot to do with what's going to be coming through these doors in the next coming years. Stetson Bennett is college football. Stetson Bennett was a guy that obviously grew up wanting to be a Georgia Bulldog, wasn't on campus, and then you go back to the Jamin Newman situation and how he had to come in and kind of save the day. JT Daniels is the prototypical college football player, 6'2", 6'3", the big arm, 5-star, but availability has to mean something. And Stetson has been there for you. Stetson's not going to make waves. Stetson is not going to say anything that's going to be detrimental to the team. But this is the reason why I think both of them are going to play. People are always talking about how Kirby Smart is a better coach, while Dan Mullen may be a better developer of talent than him. Well, Kirby Smart, where everybody knows Dan Mullen going to run out two quarterbacks, and they have two totally different skill sets as far as like what you want them to do. So now you got defense versus defense, offense versus offense. If the two guys from Georgia outplay the two guys from Florida, when the two guys from Florida might be more athletically, gifted than the two guys, they definitely look like the prototypical college quarterback. What does that say, BJ? It's so many games within the game, and that's what this comes down to. This is gamesmanship. To me, I think JT goes out there first, even though I don't think he's going to end the game. JT needs confidence. JT Daniels has never played in the Florida-Georgia game yet. And all you heard last year was what? If JT would have played, Florida would have won. Well, JT Daniels need to know what it's like to be a Georgia quarterback that plays against Florida, even if they got number one next to their team. Stetson Bennett has earned the right to play on Saturday, and he did it last year. So I think Kirby Smart, he has a really, really good problem on his hands, because the one thing Stetson and JT have that Florida doesn't have, I got a defense going to give me some opportunities. I got a defense going to give me some extra possessions. I got a defense that's going to call some 3-and-outs. So when it comes down
Florida
to Florida
can't do that?
I'm not saying Florida can't do that, but JT and Stetson know that Georgia's going to do that. And I'm not saying it's going to be overwhelmingly Georgia. Look, that's another thing. Georgia has the better defense. What if Florida defense outplays them in this game? Doesn't mean they're better. So that's what you like about the game. Everybody is going to be looked upon what position I play. Like BJ, you always say, who has the competitive advantage? Well, Kirby Smart is saying, how do I use Stetson and JT? Just like Dan Mullen saying, how do I use Anthony Richardson, Emory Jones? And the thing about it is, depending on how it looks, will determine if they're going to use two quarterbacks after this game. If it don't work against this type of talent, man, I don't want to hear what you did against South Carolina. I hear what you did against, other teams. I think that whoever runs out on Saturday for Georgia and whoever plays well is going to be the starter moving forward. I think Florida's going to be a little different, but I just know it's so much. The plays that get called in Florida, Georgia might not get called the rest of the year because this is like a playoff game in the NFL in college because everything matters. Kirby Smart got to get the win because you don't want to lose to Florida when Florida's not even is unranked. Dan Mullen needs a quality win in the worst way possible. So this is why you love it. This is why you love Florida, Georgia, from the storylines, quarterbacks, defense, offensive line. Think about it. Florida's coming in running the football better than Georgia. That shouldn't even be allowed. Georgia's defense is just they writing their own history book. We ain't never know with nobody else. But hey, man, when the rubber meets the road, I mean, you're gonna have to decide if this is what you want to do or not. I do agree with you, BJ. If Stetson Bennett was 6'2", this wouldn't even be a problem. But I told you, BJ, a big part of college football is not being the part, it's looking the part. And if you don't look at it, when JT does it, JT is a baller. When Stetson does it, it's in spite of. So I think BJ, man, it should be Stetson, but because I understand how perception works, it's probably going to be JT.
Again, we'll see what happens. Dan Mullen's got his own questions there as well at quarterback. And is there pressure? Dan Mullen to go out and get a win? Obviously, Florida fans didn't give him a big extension to lose 3-4 games, but is it Emory Jones till it starts to look bad, and then it's Anthony Richards, or you just go with Anthony Richards?
Man, that is the $1 million question. From a rhythm standpoint, I think you do have to start with Emory because the one thing, BJ, that we haven't seen for Anthony Richardson, can he do it for 4 quarters? Man, we know he's exciting. Listen, Anthony Richardson is like a relief pitcher, and he's nice. He comes in and he's excited. He throwing strikes. But can he be a starter? And if he's going to start, I don't know if you do that to him against Georgia because if you're judging a quarterback on what he did against Georgia's defense, that might not be fair to that quarterback. But if you Emory, you got to prove that, man, I'm the guy for this job. If you Anthony, you got to prove that, hey, man, I might be in a starring role, but I might be a co-star. I know that's hard I was a co-star for 3 years, and I loved it. All of a sudden, hey, man, you ready to star in this thing? I was a co-star in 2002 and had to play a star role. So I think that, once again, it comes down to, and I will say this to Anthony Richardson and Emory Jones, do you want to be a great player or do you want to be a great teammate? Because there is a huge difference in the two. Sometimes being a great teammate will get in the way when wanting to be a great player. I know that both of them want to do it, but they're gonna need to be teammates on Saturday because they're gonna need both of them. And if both of them can contribute, that's gonna give Florida the best opportunity to win. Because I do think Emory's that guy.
We've got more to come here on 3 and Out, coming to you from the Westin on Jekyll Island on this Thursday afternoon. Hit us up on Twitter at Pigskin Radio. It is 3 and out, but it's running dangerously close to being 2 and out here. If I get some of the side eye that I'm getting from Christian Gokel and BJ Bennett. Ben and I are cool. So we'll be here for the.
I mean, yeah, Ben's cool. I mean,
I'm just saying. Kevin. Look, at the end of the day, you have a very, very wide variety when it comes to music, and we never ever know when you're gonna be jamming.
Well, I was on the comeback to the show. So hey,
you'll be performing after the roundtable tomorrow?
Yes, I will be. Stick around and make sure I'll put the tip jar out.
Oh, you're right.
But we'll be here live at the Westin on Jekyll roundtable tomorrow. Here tomorrow, weather's supposed to be fantastic tomorrow, and again, we'll be here live for 3 and out. Christian Gokel will be here second down as well, and then 7:00 the roundtable begins. Ben, I know you got some folks coming in to town already, and getting ready for a big evening tomorrow ahead of obviously the big cocktail party in Jacksonville.
Really, really looking forward to it. Really, really humbled by it. I'm already getting notifications, BJ, and text message, confirmation saying we here, we outside, we looking forward to tomorrow. But this is when I know I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, when I'm making sure I'm doing it for the guys that paved the way for me, guys that I played with. And, DJ Jones, Willie McClendon, Washawn Ely, Jeff Chandler, Carlos Alvarez, and D and those guys. I just really, really look forward, to these conversations, because as much as you think it means to you, somebody will say something to you to say, no, I mean, D Webb is from Jacksonville, went to Florida. Now he get to, now he getting recognized. D hit me up saying, hey, Ben, how many people can I bring? I said, listen, Kevin Thomas said you can bring as many people as you want. just don't let it be, a school bus full of people. Man, I want your family to come celebrate with you, man. So I'm looking forward to it.
Again, how long does it take? Here's what I want to know. Again, to go from so glad to have you, man. What a rivalry, so special too. Well, I never lost in the series, like 4-0, 4-0, undefeated.
It's just as long as you listen. You keep it classy. I keep it classy. I'm not here to start no fight. I'm not here to do that. None of that. But if you say the wrong thing, I'm gonna be like, yes, you sure you? No, hold on. It depends on who's saying it too. I'm not going to tell Willie McClendon who you think you're talking to. Come on, man. I'm not going to tell. Listen to DJ. DJ, I might not be able to see him because he might be flashing the ice. So I'm saying I'm dealing with guys that want it all. Oh God.
But I mean, a fan could say to you, well, listen, I'm a Georgia fan. I never lost to Florida. I mean, never lost.
At the end of the day, BJ, man, BJ won't smoke. Listen, I'm not going to be, listen, I respect everybody. If Willie McClendon stand up, I'm going to stand up. Wait a minute, Willie. No, I am playing. This is why I do it, though, because I'm in awe of these guys. Just because I was one of them doesn't mean I'm not in awe of them, so I'm looking forward to it.
And again, it starts tomorrow there at 7:00. We'll have 3 and out live here from the Westin. We'll be out back there Oceanside here at the Westin. And again, weather tomorrow looking really good heading into the weekend. So looking forward to that as well. So coming back, we've got so much to get to talking Georgia, Florida. Game 3 tomorrow of the World Series. We'll get to that coming up on the show as well. It is 3 and out all across the Southern Pigskin Radio Network. Hit us up on Twitter at Pigskin Radio. If you missed any portion of the show, ESPNCoastal.com.